Hey guys, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is objects. So objects are, there's actually a lot of inbuilt objects that come with Java. For example, one of them is math. But what a object is a collection of data and methods. So one of the methods, for example, of math is random. So what this will do is it will generate a random number for us, and that random number will be between 0 and 1. So keep in mind that you have to have the parentheses at the end, because if you do not, it will not actually call the method. So I'm going to go ahead and run this so we can see what random number it's going to pull. So that's the random number that it gave us. So that it's still between 0 and 1, as you can see. But let's look at it without the parentheses and see what happens. So when we do it without the parentheses, we can see that it returns the function itself without actually executing the function. So we definitely want the function to be executed. So we're going to put the parentheses back there. All right, so let's get another random number. Okay, so how is that useful? I mean, what are you going to do with like a decimal number? Well, there's what we could do to get like full whole numbers. To start off, what we would do is use the multiplication arithmetic operator. And then let's say that we wanted a number between 0 and 50. Well, let's see what this gives us. So that gave us 27.79, and that's still a decimal number. So math actually has another method that we could use on that random number. So we're going to call math again and use the dot operator. And then the next method that we want to use is floor. So when we use floor, we're going to put the previous method into the parentheses of floor, because we're calling floor on that random number that we just generated. And what floor will do is basically round any number that has a decimal point down to 0. So that will give us an output of 30. So now we're working with full whole numbers there. So another example of a object is the string object. So an exact realization of a string, which is called an instance, would be anything that is put within quotation marks. So let's change it up. We always use cat, so we're going to change it to giraffe instead. And then, so giraffe is an instance of the object string, but we can still use all, or we can still access all the properties and methods of the string object. And one of the methods that we can use to access the length of this particular instance is .length. So this will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should give us an output of 7 because there are 7 characters in that string. Oh, looks like we have a bug. So it says here that we're missing a closing parentheses after argument list. So what we need to do is, we are missing one there because we had one that was closing the log of console, and we created a new method of .floor. So we'll just add that in and then run it again. And as we can see, we have the correct output down there. So another thing you might have noticed, let me clear this out, is we're calling the .log method on console. Console is actually a object as well, so that's why we were able to do that.